I'm Matt Cadnar from the Nebo Wealth team. Last week I came across an email by Daniel Crosby. Daniel's the chief behavioral officer at Orion. And Daniel had 12 big ideas for 2025. I think it's really hard to have 12 big ideas at any point in time, but he gave it a pretty good effort. And there's a lot of really good nuggets in here. I want to talk about big idea number 10. Forecasting political markets is a losing game. And I would extend to that, forecasting stock markets or global macro events in the short run is a losing game. Daniel writes, predicting financial markets, predicting the impact of elections or markets is a popular yet flawed pastime, with experts often missing the mark. Studies reveal that even the most confident forecasts barely outperform random guesses, and Wall Street consensus targets frequently miss by wide margins. The allure of bold predictions often leads to overconfidence and inaccuracy, particularly during politically charged times. Instead of attempting to predict uncertain outcomes, focus on what you can control: your financial plan, your long-term goals. And I think there's a lot of wisdom in this particular big idea. Trying to predict complex, reflexive markets with random elements thrown in for fun, trying to predict that consistently is impossible. Yet every year, what happens? The Wall Street strategists come out and they make their predictions for the year. And what do? They say, well, the stock market's going to go up. It's going to go up 12, 13, 14%, but it's always up. And it's always a pretty good number because they're smart. They understand the career risk of making a bold prediction when you have complex, reflexive, random elements thrown in there. So what do? They don't do it. They basically do the same thing. They basically do the same thing every year. Same thing is true for global macroeconomic forecasts. It's just really hard to do. So instead of listening to these sages, and we know Phil Tetlock, University of Pennsylvania, has done a lot of work on forecasters and super forecasters and what those elements are. And we know that a lot of these strategists, they're really smart, incredibly articulate, they're easy to believe, but consistently they're wrong. So instead of focusing on the siren song of the short-term forecast, Daniel's absolutely right. Focus on what you can control, your financial plan and your long-term goals. And that's exactly what we do within Nebo Wealth. We build a portfolio that is tailored to each individual client's long-term financial goals based on the very fundamental concept that risk is not having what you need when you need it, and then building a portfolio that maximizes the likelihood that the client achieves their goals. What we hear from advisors is that clients have a better understanding of what their plan is, what their goals are, and why they own what they own relative to those goals. And so the discussions about what the S&P is doing, what the Fed is going to do, the FOMO of AI stocks, it's easy to reorient clients back to what is your plan, what is your long-term goals, because there's knowledge and understanding. When you get that combination, it reduces emotion, allows clients to make better long-term decisions. And that's our mission here at Nebo Wealth.